Obviously, we got North Dakota State this week. We'll be making a trip out there on Friday, so we'll get there around 5:45 and have an opportunity to go in the dome. We got some new turf down there, so we'll get a chance to check that out, and then go back to the hotel and go through the rest of our day. Get ready to go play. I think our kickoffs will move to 1:07, so it'll be 2:07 here. But we're excited about the opportunity. You know, it's a great place to play. It's a great environment. They have a great atmosphere. They have a great football team, very well coached, great coach, and great players. So it's something that we look forward to. And you know, it's games like this that you come to Youngstown State for.
Eric, can you just talk about you touched on the environment. What makes it such a difficult place to play?
You know, I think the impressive thing, first of all, is their marketing people have done a great job. You know, their game was sold out. Every game was sold out before they even played a game, and that tells me that their community is behind them. And you know, that's a big statement there. When you can sell out every one of your games before you even play a game, that's really impressive. And you know, I look for us here at Youngstown State to get to that point here in the near future.
But what makes it? I mean, is the crowd on you? I mean, some of the players talked about.
You know, the crowd's on you. You know, that's part of the atmosphere, and that's something that you enjoy. You know, I think you have to take the crowd and that noise and their energy. You have to take that and channel that into your body and play with it. You know, and there's nothing better than you know, playing in a hostile environment and going out and making plays. I mean, I can't simulate it, can't explain it. It's just great. It's a great feeling.
Can you touch on the positives, whatever positives there are, to being able to travel together? And I mean, obviously you want to be here at home, but can you elaborate on what positives you guys take from being together?
You know, I like going on the road. You know, I like, you know, getting together here on Friday afternoon early, watching some tape together and doing some walkthroughs and stuff like that. And then you get a chance to eat a couple meals together and have chapel service that evening, and just you know, the opportunity to spend time together. We have a very close-knit team, and we enjoy each other. It's not a situation where we walk around like we're all uptight. I always talk to our team about, you know, there's a right time to peak, and you know, on Friday night you don't need to be walking around your hotel room all riled up. You know, you have to peak at the right time, and you have to be able to flip your switch. And you know, at 1:07 we need to be able to flip our switch.
Eric, it's an early game. I mean, it's your earliest game you'll play, I think, all season, or at least to this point. Does that make a difference at all, or is it good, bad?
No, you know, I think you'd like to get up and play. You know, when I was at Illinois, we played those 11 o'clock games, and you know, there's nothing like getting up and being, you know, having an opportunity to play. We'll sleep in a little bit, but we'll get up and we'll be ready to go.
Can you just talk about Jensen and how good he is? He's completed 70% of his passes.
He's a good quarterback. You know, I think he's even better than he was last year. You know, he does a great job of managing the football game. I think they're creative on offense as far as getting him in situations where to be successful. I think he's got a great supporting cast. You know, he's got a great offensive line up front. He's got two backs in the backfield that are a nice 1-2 punch, and you know, they have balance. You know, anytime you have a team that has balance, you know, you can do good things, and you know, they have balance.
Coach, when you head into a setting like this, it's going to be loud and, you know, all those kinds of things. How important, or what kind of advantage is it for you guys to have the continuity on the offensive line with which that you do?
Well, it's something we talk about always during the week, you know, and we recreate the environment, you know, as much as we can. We'll be indoors the rest of the week. We'll have a lot of noise during all of our team periods and recreate that. And we do some things on offense to, I guess you would say, offset crowd noise. And, you know, we'll stick to that game plan.
But the offensive line having the experience that they do, how much of a factor is that in helping, you know, that process as well?
I mean, I think there's a confidence level that they know that they had been there last year. It was a loud environment, and I think as coaches, you enable your players to have confidence because during your preparation, during the course of the week, you've recreated that environment, and they know that you're going to do some things different than you normally do, so that way they have an opportunity to be successful.
How do you get their offense out of their comfort zone? Jensen hasn't thrown an interception yet this season.
Well, you know, they're very similar to us in the aspect that Coach Bull, you know, he likes to possess the football, and you know, he'll hold the ball and try to play keep away from you and keep your offense on the sideline over there, and at the same time they're scoring points while they do it, and you know, that's kind of what we like to do too. We like to win that time of possession game. They're obviously very good on third down. We've been pretty good on third down. So, you know, it's a unique matchup. But, you know, he's a guy that if you allow him to be comfortable, he's going to be successful. And you have to find ways to do things to maybe create confusion or get pressure or do some things different than you've done in the past. But you have to make him think a little bit longer than maybe he has in the past.
Eric, what does this game come down to? If there's one thing that it comes down to in watching tape, what's it come down to?
I think, you know, I don't know if you can necessarily pinpoint one specific thing. I think a major factor in this football game will be is who wins the turnover battle. You know, especially on the road, a hostile environment. You know, you can't give football teams a short field. Northern Iowa and give them a short field quite a few times, and that's something that you got to be conscious of. At the same time, you know, I continue to say this. I think that battle on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball is going to be crucial. You know, if you allow them to be in a bunch of third and shorts, you know, their percentage of being successful on third down go way up. And you know, third down is going to be a big thing. You know, you watch their tape; they're not in third and long very often. So that means they're very efficient on first and second down. So that way, they're more successful on third down, staying on the field now, being out there longer, continuing drives. So I'd say turnovers, and I think third down is going to be a big factor in this game.
I know it's just another game. You approach it, you know, just one game at a time, but this is the biggest game this weekend, number 1 against number 3. How do you keep that from being too overhyped, or do you relish the fact that it is such a big game?
You know, we don't talk about rankings. We'll talk about rankings on January 6th. You know, we don't acknowledge where we are. We never talk about it. It's never mentioned in the meeting room. It's never mentioned anywhere. We don't mention anybody's ranking. You know, there's one ranking that comes out, and that's at the end of the year. That's the only one we worry about. Until then, we know this is just assignment number 5. You know, and that's where we are. We have an assignment this week. Our preparation's been great thus far. I continue to expect that. And, you know, we need to go out, and you have to have a business type mentality when you go on the road. At the same time, you can't be too tight, or you go out there and squander opportunities.
Coach, first of all, address Kyle Searle and Ali Shaib. Is that injury related or is that performance related?
Kyle Searle has done some good things. You know, we make a decision you know, during the end of the week there who we're going to start and who we're going to play. And, you know, Kyle's a guy that's been productive. You can't deny his production. And, you know, Kyle needs to have a better practice today, you know, because yesterday he didn't do some things like we'd like him to do, you know. No one's guaranteed to start around here. And, you know, last week we started Ali Shaib, and, you know, it was a situation where, you know, even though it was a big game, if you're late for a meeting, you're not going to start, you're not going to play. And that's just the way it is around here. We're going to continue to have discipline, and we have what we call Y time, which is Youngstown, and that means wherever you're supposed to be, you need to be 5 minutes early. And if you're not there 5 minutes early, and we start at 10:30, it means you should have been there at 10:25. So if you're not there, you don't play, and that's the way it'll always be.
Coach, how do you feel your young receivers have filled the void of the process so far?
We're making progress. You know, I still think there's a lot more out there, and we have a lot of talent there, and they're young, and we're not going to use that as an excuse. So we're going to expect those guys to continue to improve every week, and if they continue to do that, I think that they will give us opportunities to have mismatches all over the field.
When guys suffer injuries like Barrasa's, how do you keep those guys involved, or is that even a concern?
You know, Jelani will make the trip this week. He's going to go with us, and you know, Jelani's been out of practice and in meetings, and you know, he's a guy that was voted, you know, a leader of his group there, and he visits with a lot of those guys. Have a room with Andrew Williams on the road, and you know, just kind of ease those guys' mind a little bit. And Jelani had a big game in this game last year, and you know, he'll be there with Andrew. Night before the game, I think Andrew will be fine, but you know, just to reassure him that he knows what he's doing, and coach him up a little bit.
Coach, you kind of summarized what makes their offense effective. Can you do the same thing about their defense? What makes them?
Well, I think it starts with Coach Bull. You know, he was at Nebraska when I played at Kansas State, and you know, it was always a difficult challenge when you played the University of Nebraska. Parks is happy that I'm saying that right now, but they were always well coached, and Coach Osborne obviously had an influence on his life, and I see that carry over with his defense. You know, I think when you're head coach, you know, you have an expertise or a specialty, and you know, it shows that they're a great defense. They're well coached. They're always in position. They're great on adjustments, and they're very creative. They continue to evolve. You know, they're doing some things different than they've done in the past, and that's just part of being a good coach. You know, I'm sure in the off season, in the summer, he's out studying film. You know, looks like he's been watching some Steelers stuff. You know, as far as what they're doing schematically, and visiting with some other people, and you can see that on film because they're students of the game, and that's part of this job. You know, you have to continue to evolve and get out and visit and see what other people are doing to be successful, and you got to also put your players in positions to be successful. You know, they have a unique situation that they have, you know, Marcus Williams, who's, you know, probably the best corner at our level of football, #1, and he's an outstanding player. He's out in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and this guy that makes a lot of plays, gets some interceptions for him, and he's a guy that, you know, that can take care of things on his side of the field. But Coach Bull's done a great job, and you can see his influence on the defense.
What have you seen from your team over the last week to make you confident that your defense will play better than it did maybe over the last couple of weeks? You know, our thing is you know, just continuing to learn Coach Tracy's system. At the same time is we have to play it the way he wants to play, and that starts with passion, starts with the eye control, doing the things that you're coached to do. And if you do the things you're coached to do, you're going to have an opportunity to be successful. You know, I don't know if really anywhere this day and age you can go out there and expect to get goose eggs. You know, our philosophy around here has always been on offense, you need to score one more point than the defense gives up. And on defense, the defensive mentality is to hold them to one less than the offense scores. And that's the recipe for success. You know, you can get caught up in statistics and all those kind of things, but in order to be a team, and that's how you win as a team, that needs to be your mentality, that it's not an offensive thing or a defensive thing, it's a team. And you know, that's something that we continue to emphasize at all times.
Without getting too specific, because I don't want you to.
I won't.
But every coach, when they watch film, looks at matchups. Have you guys found matchups that you like to work to your favor this week?
Well, I would say that I think we have a good game plan on both sides of the ball, and I think it'll come down to our execution and our ability to, you know, be able to take advantage of the opportunity or the play call when the time's right. And you know, we'll always offensively run things wide open. Defensively, you know, we're going to study some things that they've done in the past and continue to look at things that they may do in the future, as far as based off of what specific plays they're running. So trying to stay a step ahead of the game, if you will.
Maybe as a recruiter, just address their ability to get players up to a place like Fargo. I mean, I'm sure it was a lot easier when you were in Tampa or something like that to get kids to come in.
You know, I think it's a situation where you know, it's definitely a good school or a great school that you can recruit to, because you know, well, the way I look at it is they have a college environment. You know, that's a college town there. It's obviously a thriving area. So opportunities after you get done with college, you're going to have opportunities for jobs. You know, they probably, you know, a graduate from their school probably has a job lined up because there's basically no unemployment there. So there's a lot of opportunity there for you after you graduate. At the same time, I think you have an opportunity to sell that you've won championships. You know, last year they won a championship. Prior to that, they'd won how many Division II championships. So you're going to have an opportunity to play for a championship. I think that's a big thing to kids these days. As you see the big boys getting ready to go to a playoff system, you know, what happens to all the middle schools, the lower range schools? I mean, you can't talk about having an opportunity to win the championship. You have an opportunity to talk about just going to, you know, the Sun-Kissed Bowl, you know, something like that. Whereas, you know, they can legitimately talk about championships, and that's something there. I think you can look at their, you know, coaching staff, and you can say that we've developed players here in the past. You know, they have a tight end from last year that's at the Jacksonville Jaguars. You know, we can develop you, you know, and that's an important aspect of it. You know, so I think they have a lot of things to recruit to. At the same time, I think you have a unique situation that you're in the Midwest there, and you know, the University of Minnesota can't take everybody. They're a Big Ten school, and they have different requirements than a lot of schools, being a Big Ten school. So you have another pool of kids there that you can get in there and recruit, along with North Dakota itself and that whole region right in there. And those parents want to see those kids play. You know, as a parent, you cannot put a price tag on being able to walk out after a game and be able to give your son a hug. To have an opportunity as a son, and if your mom's in a time of need, be able to jump in a car and drive home within a reasonable distance. So, you know, I see a lot of things that they can recruit to, you know, and that's just off the top of my head right there. So, you know, there's 23 teams in the NFL that are above the snow line. You know, do you really want to play in the NFL? You better understand how to practice and play in cold weather, even though they play in the dome. So my thing is there's a lot of things you can sell.
Yeah,
right,
you're
Dana?
gonna be on their recruiting video, I think now. They're just gonna play that for recruits.
Well, I mean, I don't know, but I mean, I think that recruiting is work, and anybody that likes to work hard can be a good recruiter, because there's always an angle, you know, and you got to find your angle and what works, and be genuine about it, and don't tell lies.